Well, it's cold today and there's quite a wind blowing, but it's dry and we've had so much rain over the last few days. But it is winter, so I suppose we shouldn't complain too much. Going a bit slowly here because I've got the sun in my eyes, I can't see a bloody thing. And we've got two things to talk about today. Good service and new tyres. I've complained a lot about poor service in the cycling business. So when you do get good service, I think it's important to point that out too. Restored my faith. There are some good guys in the business. A little advert popped up on Facebook, funny enough, for Al's Bike Shed, St Bride's Major. And quite handily, it's very close to me as well. So after my experience at the Trek shop, where the guy there told me that even though I'd maintained the chain correctly, I'd need a new chain and cassette after 1,000 miles. And I thought, well, that's just bizarre. I mean, people go on 2,000 mile gravel rides. Surely they don't take spare chains with them. So I wanted a second opinion. So I rang Al's Bike Shed. And Al was very friendly and very helpful. And he did say that he didn't think the chain should need replacing after 1,000 miles, and that I should bring it in. So I decided not only would I bring it in, I'd leave it there for him to service. And he services bikes during the week. Generally people leave them there Monday to Friday, and they have their bikes back for the weekend. I told him I was going to be off Thursday, Friday this week, and he said no problem, I'll get it done by Wednesday. And he's done a full service, replaced the brake pads, one of the derailleur cables, but not the chain. Because the chain is still fine. And when I went to pick up the bike, he ran through everything he'd done, showed me why and where. He took the time to discuss my choice of tyre, and then spent some more time going through the features of the GRX group set. You know, the sort of thing the shop should have done when I bought the bike but couldn't be bothered. So unlike the bike shops, just feel like he cares. I mean, last time I went to a bike shop, their attitude was, Right, there's your bike. Now get out of my shop as quickly as possible. So if you're anywhere near St Bride's Major, give Al's Bike Shed a call. The rather annoying creek is back. The rather annoying creak is back, which you can probably hear. I feel sure if I go back to Al and tell him, he'll sort it right out. And in case you're wondering, this isn't a sponsored video, because I've only got a handful of subscribers. It wouldn't be worth anyone sponsoring me. I just feel it's important. If you're going to point out bad service, then you need to be prepared to highlight good service. The other thing I wanted to talk about is tyres. I had a double puncture last week. And the tyres were in pretty poor shape. So I decided, rather than repair the puncture, I'll put new tyres on. I was going to put on Terran Dry, same as I put on the Giant. But they weren't available for another 6 weeks. So in the end, I chose Vittoria Terran Zero tyres. Wow, this isn't a wind, it's a severe gale. So it may seem an odd choice, going for a less aggressive tyre in the winter, but I do ride mostly road. Broken and battered roads, I admit, but mostly road. And I have been assured that they're the right choice. I mean, they are marketed as gravel tyres. So I went out on a little 20-mile ride yesterday, and they performed pretty well. I did even go up a gravel trail, and given the amount of rain we've had recently, it was quite muddy. Unsure, going uphill, taking a lot of power. I did feel the back end squirm a little bit, but nothing really to think about. Nothing that made me think I would get stuck or fall over or anything like that. The ride is relatively firm compared to the GR1s, but I think that's just a bit of experimenting with tyre pressures. Overall, I think they're going to be fine. And let's hope they last a bit longer than the GR1s. I was going to set them up tubeless. I bought the sealant and the valves. In the end, when I took the tyres off, even though the rims have got a tubeless ready sticker on them, they haven't been taped, which really is just Trek being mean. And on the side of the tyre it said minimum pressure for tubeless 45 psi. And I've been running the GR1s at 40. So in the end I abandoned it, put a tube in. But in terms of speed, rolling resistance, all of those kind of things, I can't really tell the difference between these and the GR1s. It's early days. I'll do another report on them after a few weeks. This is where we need a cycle path. But the council won't put one in. They've spent all their money building a cycle path in a place that no one ever goes.